right? And I think we're in a world now where people want and they respect thought leadership and new ideas more than ever. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there that hear a trend or hear a theme and they just kind of continue to talk on it. Like in California, there's a huge one around single payer.
Every employee benefits broker and industry partner dreams of achieving great things. The bad news is that success doesn't come easy. The good news is that you don't have to do it alone. Welcome to the Benefits Sales Pro Show. I am your host, Ryan James Miller, and my goal is to engage industry professionals who have found success and are willing to share it with others. So give us 15 minutes and hear how today's guest has achieved great things so you can too. All right. What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the show. So we are rolling. We are a few episodes into this video show concept that I had to really just dig into what it means to be in sales today, trying to take tips and best practices from professionals in the industry, whether that be on the broker side of the business, the vendor side of the business, agency owners, sales professionals, just really the gamut. And really, above all else, just trying to give you as much good information as you can to get out there and win business in what I say is one of the most difficult industries to be successful in, really be successful in. So today, I have with me a really good friend. He's a client of mine. We've been working together for a while. His name's Matt Taylor. He's the partner or a partner at CorpStrat. They're up in the LA area of California. We're not going to hold that against each other today when we talk. We're going to just pretend like we don't live in California so everybody else likes us. But for now, what up, dude? How are you?
What's up, Ryan? How you doing? Thank you. Thanks for having me today.
I'm good. All right, so we're going to jam right into this because we are just trying to get to the point from the beginning. And so by point, I want to get your perspective on sales in the industry. So what is your opinion when I say, what is sales in the benefits world like to you?
What is it like? It's a constant challenge and ever-changing environment, right? I think when you look at the challenges in our industry right now, I think there's a huge commoditization of our products, and there's a real challenge to differentiate. I'll give you an example. Like you said, we're in California, 1 to 100. We've got a very commoditized product. So if you're a 25 life employer and you have a Blue Shield Silver plan, they buy it from me, they buy it from you, they buy it from Blue Shield, they buy it from 7-Eleven down the street. It's the same price. So, how do you differentiate that, right? Some people say service, but I feel like that's a blah, 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 falls on deaf ears. Some people say compliance, blah, blah, blah. That's falling on deaf ears now too, because everyone's saying the same story. So, the challenge is really how do you differentiate yourself and get somebody's ear?
Yeah, no, that's good. Okay. And I'll follow up on that in a second. Okay. But so with that in mind, so just thinking about maybe the climate that you see, obviously California does present quite a few more challenges in the benefits world than almost any other state in the country. And so for you, what is one big mistake that you see agency owners and or sales professionals make that are hurting their ability to generate revenue?
The number one thing that comes to mind is being a follower, right? And I think we're in a world now where people want and they respect thought leadership and new ideas more than ever. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there that hear a trend or hear a theme and they just kind of continue to talk on it. Like in California, there's a huge one around single payer, right? There's that AB 1400, and we've heard so much about that. And everyone's talking about a single payer going to happen. Is it not going to happen? And, I think there's a different talk track there, right? If you stop for a second and you think, okay, look, we have a sick society here. We have people who are getting diabetes, cancer, heart disease, obesity, more than ever before. So if we just change the payer and say, okay, private insurance is not going to pay, government's going to pay, what are we doing? And that's the talk track I see out there. So I think ways that people can overcome that in thought leadership is let's talk about wellness. Let's talk about ways to really change that curve, because the only way we're going to change, right, healthcare consumption and insurance premiums going down is by changing people's habits. But people don't seem to really be embracing that. I have this belief that not now, but at some point down the road, we're going to get to a place where people are going to benefit from healthy eating, from smoking cessation, from having wellness programs. Like, if you've been driving a car for 10 years, you don't have a wreck. Okay, you get a discount. There's something like that has to happen in the health insurance space.
Yeah. Yeah. And unfortunately, and again, a lot of people don't necessarily feel this the same way, but in a lot of other parts of the country, particularly because you can self-fund down to such a small number, you are able to have those things affect positive change in your health plans. Whereas in California, in small group particularly, but even in 300, 400, 500 employee organizations, a lot of times it's hard to get really creative because of the way that healthcare and health insurance are delivered here in the state. So yeah. By the way, when you started talking about single payer, you had me biting my tongue really, really hard because I just want to beat that horse so bad, but I'm not going to get off track from talking about sales. Okay.
Well, so that's a 4-hour podcast unto itself.
Somebody else can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So how about this? So you talk about some challenges overall that you see, or a challenge that you see overall in the industry. What about you specifically? What's one big challenge that you have faced, and how have you been able to overcome it?
So there's look, we all face challenges, right? I think one of my biggest challenges personally is just meeting the expectation of the client. We're not in a sales job or sales role here where we're like a car salesman or a one and done, where you sell someone a product, you sell someone a service, and you leave, right? I look at every new client we bring on, it's a 10-year relationship. We're an advisor, we're a partner, right? We're a strategist with them, like we're in it. And every employer has a different hot button or a different pain point that lights them up. So how do you meet all of those expectations, right? And develop those long-term relationships and be that person? I think there's a balance there of taking on everybody, but also making sure you can do your best work for people. And that's always a challenge, because everyone I take on, I want to do the best I can for. And it's sometimes not possible.
So how have you done a better job of identifying that, or of setting those expectations, or delivering on them?
Well, I think you got to be really clear about who your target market is. And if you're in the insurance space, right, we all started, and everyone can kind of nod their head to this. If someone had a business or a heartbeat in your first 5 years, they are basically in, right? They're your client. And it's like, as you grow, you have a scalability issue. And if you really want to deliver on that, and you really want to, deliver on your promise and set the right expectations, I just think you have to narrow down, at least for me, I've had to narrow down my target market, right? Who do I want to work with? What's my ideal client look like? And start going after those people.
It's good. Okay. A sales tactic or strategy that you personally have used that you feel has attributed to the success that you have gained to this point in your career?
So a specific strategy, I think meeting the business owner where they're at, I think has been a really successful strategy to me. And I know a lot of people will assign a lot of different meanings to that. But I think as the world evolves here, we can't just be employee benefit brokers. We have to be business advisors and business strategists. And if you go look on my website, right, I'll give you an example. Like, if you look back over the last 18 months, what employer wants to talk about employee benefits? That's like number 30 on their line. They had COVID. They're trying to keep their business alive. They're laying off people, right? They've got PPP loans to figure out. They got employees working at home. They've got new COVID rules coming out every single week. So with all this stuff going on, and they're getting 3% and 5% and 6% increases this year and last year. So where's the pain point there? So I think if you look at yourself as a strategist for these businesses, and talk about where their pain points are, right? And we've done that because we've evolved our business. So not only do we do employee benefits, right? We do human capital management. So we help automate all of their employee infrastructure. We do payroll. So we do HR consulting. So we do all these other things that I think, when the business turns and other things become hot buttons, you have something of real value to go talk to a business owner about and be a partner. Obviously, we all want to pick it all up, but you gotta wait. You just got to be in the right place at the right time. And I think more things to talk about really help you.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think it really is important to listen to what the client needs, to have better business acumen than just in your narrow niche of benefits. You have to understand business. You have to understand what makes them tick, goals, challenges, and figuring out how you fit into that larger effort that they're making. Because again, as you said, I mean, benefits is just one small piece of the pie. And you want to make sure that you're helping to holistically solve whatever they're after and achieve whatever they're after. So no, that's good. Okay. And final question. So remind me again, how long, and for everybody else that's watching, they don't know this. So how long have you been in this industry?
21 years.
Okay. So you were 6 when so 21 years ago, you got into this business. You were young, you were full of all kinds of fire and energy, stepping into this new space. So you know a lot more now, 21 years later, than you did back then. And so what is one piece of advice you would give your younger self to have set you up better for success way back then?
Okay. I only know a little bit more than I knew 21 years ago, not a lot, right? but I think that the answer to that question is simple. And it's a term I use often. It's lather, rinse, repeat. And I feel like when you're new in this business, right, like have a plan. A lot of people come in, they don't have a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, you do have a plan, and it's a plan to fail. So make a plan and develop what I would call like your unique go-to-market strategy with as many initiatives as you can. If you like social media, if you like cold calling, like whatever your marketing and go-to-market plan is, have it and have as many initiatives as you can involved in it, right? And then set goals, yearly goals, semi-annual goals, quarterly goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, daily goals, and then execute your plan. And then I think where the rubber meets the road in that is review it and modify it, right? Figure out what's working in your plan and start to do more of that, and figure out what's not working in your plan and start to do less in that. And I think we all have this like big shiny object preoccupation where, oh, there's this thing out there, let me go get it. Know that about you. And if that's you, build some time in your plan to go do that. But find your plan and work your plan and lather, rinse, repeat that plan. Whatever works, just keep doing more and more of it. I got so off track because I hit all these shiny objects. I was like, oh, let me try that. Let me try that. Let me try that. And working with you, it's kind of helped me remember, hey, come back to basics and work the plan. Yeah. And if I only wish I would have stuck to that for the last 21 years.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think everybody, regardless of the industry or the role that they're in, they could take that piece of advice and run with it. And I love, Matt, something that you've shared along the way. And I mean, this is just kind of a really a good way to close us out is, when you were talking about the challenges, when you were talking about clients, you talked about really narrowing in, right? Really getting focus on who you're after with your client, what you're after with the problems that you solve. And then even to the very end, when you said, I would have had a plan and stuck to it, versus getting distracted in many different ways. So it just speaks to this whole kind of theme. What sounds like for you is really just being focused on the things that are in front of you, the things that you desire, and just committing to pursue those things and not getting yourself off track or allowing your clients to get off track in the process. So that's good, man. I appreciate that. I know it's going to be super helpful for people that listen. For anybody that is listening right now, by the way, if there is something that Matt said that resonated with you, I know you're probably a peer and you're hearing me say this. When you're watching these episodes, you're like, I'm not going to reach out to a peer. That's awkward. No, you should really reach out to a peer, collaborate. There's things that you can learn from Matt. There's things that Matt can learn from you. I cannot encourage you guys enough to be connecting with one another, to be building these relationships and supporting one another. We want to go to war with as many good people as possible. And this is a great way to do that. So we'll make sure to put Matt's information in the contact or in the show notes below. If you have any questions, concerns, desires that you want to connect with him on, please feel free to do that. You know where to find me. In the meantime, make sure you are smashing those goals by staying as focused as possible in the process. Thanks so much, guys. Chat with you soon. Thanks so much for checking out this episode of the Benefits Sales Pro Show. Please make sure to like this episode, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. I also invite you to check out thebenefitsalespro.com. We have created a digital platform that includes both live and on-demand video trainings, quick tips, and a multitude of branding, prospecting, and selling resources that are downloadable for you today. So visit www.thebenefitsalespro.com and grab a free copy of the High Performance Sales Playbook while you're there.